Okay, welcome back, my fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. This is the reading for the month of October 2025. This is a general reading, and it's a collective reading, so take what works for you, and if something doesn't resonate, I suggest you still pay attention to it, write it down, because I have a feeling it's going to come up for you, and you're going to be like, hey, Urban Forest told me about that. Leave your comments below, and please, if you're new to my channel, subscribe and hit the like button. That'll help the algorithm. All right, so 6-card placement spread, and we're going to start out and finish with an oracle card from the Moonology deck. Okay, for the month of October, you're coming in. Take a time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. Ask yourself, have you been holding your breath? Have you been feeling anxious and tight? Have you been carrying a heavy load and worrying? October is a time where Spirit says it's time to just let it go. Take a deep breath and let it go. Let all that negativity go. Let all that stress go. Let all that no longer is working or serving you go. Let me just change my angle here. I'm sorry, guys. Don't mean to get you dizzy. There we go. Camera kind of got loopy. All right, there. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to continue. And the first house that we're going to talk about is the house of interpersonal relationships. As you know, this can either be family, friends, or current lovers or lovers to be. And let's see what do you have for the fire signs? Our hot, passionate brothers and sisters. All righty. Victory. We have the card of victory. We have the 6 of Wands, as you can see. Okay, he's marching in, they're marching in, and they're being celebrated. There's accomplishment. So ask yourself, what's happening in your romantic life? What's happening in your family life? That you're being celebrated, that you finally see some victory, that you feel a sense of accomplishment. Is it maybe if you're in romantic life that you are celebrating a major anniversary milestone? That is a victory. Maybe someone is coming up pregnant. Once again, when you were talking about interpersonal relationships and victory, that's also a sign. Maybe you finally resolved an issue with your family, okay, or some friends. Victory. Okay? So that's a wonderful card for the month of October in regards to your interpersonal relationships with other people. It's a very successful card. It's a very good sign. Whatever was not working for you in September is going to work for you in October, right? And we might come back to that card based on some other cards we're going to see in the reading. All right, my fire signs. It's such a great card to get. All right, now we're going to move to your house of resources. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is all about money, school, work, finances. This is your the physical manifestations in your life, okay, that sustain you. We have the reverse devil. Okay. So if I want you to go back and look at my water sign video, because this reverse devil just came up in that reading as well, but under a different placement. And I shuffle. So it's really the universe is trying to tell us something when we see that. The reverse devil in your house of materialism. Okay, are you overspending? Are you living beyond your means? Think about this. Are you in debt and you're having a hard time, catching up? Are you not doing what you're supposed to do at work or maybe at school? Okay. Are you being lazy? Okay. This is a negative polarity. Okay. That means that sometimes we're just not doing what we got to do. Okay. Now, Normally, it's a little harder when it's in the upright position, and now we're in reverse, so it feels like we're moving out of that. But this is why you really need to be honest with yourself and ask those important questions, okay? Because you're not going to be able to free yourself from those issues in your material life until you're being honest with yourself, right? What did they say in 12-step groups? The first step is admitting that you have a problem. So if you're having problems financially, if you're having problems saving money, if you're having problems getting up and going to work and do what you got to do, or school, then that's some form of an addiction. That's some form of like the devil, right? The negativity. So in reverse, if you can be honest with yourself, it's going to allow you to start moving out of that, okay, and do it much, much better in life, or at least during the month of October. Okay? That's what the universe is asking you to do. Start handling your business. Nobody's going to do it for you. Okay, you got to do it yourself. All right, my fire signs. And I could see that because sometimes fire signs, we can get a little manic with our stuff, right? We run very, very hot, and sometimes we burn through things, or sometimes we're burning the candle at both ends. And we're just being very self-destructive, right? And basically the universe is saying for the month of October, we might need to really like smolder instead of burn hot, and just move forward, let go a lot of that. All right, let's look at our challenges for the month of October. What do we got going on? The Page of Swords. That's a challenge. All right. The Page of Swords, that's kind of a juvenile way of communicating an intellect, okay? It's kind of like you want to, listen, I'm going to get a little political. It's kind of like you have people who, they read something on WebMD, and all of a sudden they think, that they're the top scientists in the world and that they knew everything about anything, right? So, for instance, we have somebody who read a couple of articles about Tylenol and autism. Now they think like they're the world leading geneticists on how Tylenol impacts autism. Listen, that's my point of view. If you disagree, write it in the comments. Go ahead. If you disagree with me, write it in the comments. Feel free. It works for me either way. So it's kind of like a little juvenile way, okay, of thinking, of communicating. It's also looking back because, there's a little gossipy behind you. So that's coming up too. And it just feels like you're not really like paying attention. You don't really have a sense of clarity in your head. You want to, you feel like you're ready to move on to the next level, but you really need to do a lot more work with that. You're just, you're not who you want to be. The king. You want to be the king, but you're not. You're the page. Okay. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge for you for the month of October. You want to be the king, but you're not. You're the page. You got to grow up. You need more experience. You need to learn a little bit more. You need to do your homework. That's the challenges for October, okay? You're going to be confronted, and you're going to want to be the head honcho, and the reality is you're not. You're not the boss, okay? You're not up to level, and that's okay. That's okay. You just got to learn to live with that and be okay with that, all right? Also, some of the challenges is watch how you run your mouth, okay? Don't get into the gossipy stuff, okay? Watch how you run your mouth. I like the pages because the pages are almost like a new beginning. It's like you graduated, 1 to 10 was like going to elementary school into high school and you graduated, and now you get the pages like you're a freshman in college. You got a little bit of experience, but you're basically starting new, okay? And do you ever see people who just start out their first year in college and they come home and they think they know it all? It's like, really, dude? Like, you just started. Like, you don't know nothing about nothing, okay? So that's a challenge you're going to have, is to be mindful. You don't know it all, okay, fire signs? All right, let's look at the strength. Let's look at your strengths for the month of October. All right. All right. We have the Two of Wands. Okay. The Two of Wands is telling us that we're ready to bring in two polarities into our lives. Okay. Our id and our ego. Okay. Our subconscious and unconscious. We're ready to pull them together and to create something new. Okay. If you see, he's holding the globe, he's looking out in the water. It's like, okay, I'm bringing these two polarities together. And if you look here, there's like two roses, right? Or a rose and a lily, a dark and a bright. It's bringing two opposites together. And it's like, okay, I'm bringing these together because I want something to manifest out of it. Okay, I want something to grow. You don't know what exactly yet because you're still beginning in that journey, but you know that you're at a place where you're bringing these two together to start growing. You planted the seed and now you're ready to make it manifest and grow. It's a time of exploration. Okay? Now, why is this a good strength card? It's a good strength card because you know it doesn't have to be this or that. Okay, take a look. It's not a this or that. It could be this and that. That's why it's so good to have this in your strength house, right? Because you've come to the realization it can be this and that. And this is really interesting because when we looked at the card before, we were seeing the young page as a challenge. You know, when you're young, you tend to think very concretely, you know, very concretely. And you think and you're very black and white. It's got to be this way. It can only be this way. Where when you have it as a strength, it kind of is going to balance this out to help you think, well, not really, you know. It can be this and that. It could be different. It could be more exploratory. There might be more to the story than what meets the eye. What's good about having this strength to offset that challenge is that it's totally going to help you to see what the issues are during this month of October, what's been sabotaging you, what's been causing conflict at work and everything else, why things haven't been working. And also, it's being open-minded like that. It's going to give you a better relationship with others. And you're going to have support from others, right? You got all the support from family members in dealing with all of this issues. All right, let's see. What do we got? It's also interesting because when I read back on this, time to take a time to breathe out, it could be that maybe you were struggling with this for a while, right? With the devil. You've been struggling, holding on to this for a while. Not really knowing because you don't have the experience, or you're too young, or you just weren't able to tease it out in your mind, right? Because it's so, and now you're at a point where you have the strength to look at the polarities here to get the support, and you can finally breathe and let it go. Okay? All right, let's see the message Spirit has for you to end for the rest of the month of October. Please remember to click the subscribe button if you're new. Share this with your friends. This is a collective reading, so if you're sharing it and somebody watches it, it means that these messages were for them. Okay. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Look at this. Okay. We are talking to you, fire signs. Okay. Spirit couldn't be any more direct. Okay. Because it's a full moon in Leo. Totally making it very clear that Spirit is talking to you about these issues. Don't let the pride get in your way. Okay. because we can tend to do that, right? Fire signs, we think we know it all. All right, have a great month of October. Happy Halloween, and we will see you in November. Please leave comments, okay? Let me know how you resonated with this reading. All right, take care. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.